I'm live. All right. Hi, guys. It's Tori Christman. I'm known as Tori Magoo 44 on YouTube and TikTok. It is November 21st. We're coming up to Thanksgiving, and hopefully, some of my friends come on tonight. If you come on afterwards, please leave a note. I love reading all your notes afterwards, as well as when you're live. Both of them are just as important to me. So there you go. I was in Scientology for 30 years. I woke up in 2000 and I was just going to leave. That was my plan. Hey, Fluffy Cat's Place. Hi. Thank you for coming by. As you know, I was just going to leave and then they chased me across the country. Hi, Kelly. So the Tampa police got me out of the Tampa airport and that became my escape. I left and at LAX, I was a Scientologist. By the time they chased me across the country, my husband was in Chicago. That's a whole thing that I wrote up on TikTok about it because people wanted to know more. And by the time I got to Tampa at 1:45 in the morning, the Tampa police were there with Scientology and OTs and the police. And that's what happened. Hi, Martha Simmons. Hi, hi, Ellen. Pardon me. My voice is weird, and I just realized my water's in the other room. Not good, but that's the way it is. So, anyway, thank you, Ellen. Tell us, Martha. All right. Hey, JB808, good evening. I'm not sure who you're, Martha. Oh, you have fabulous news. All right. Yeah, fill us in. Okay. Martha had stage 4 colon cancer yesterday. Wow. Had surgery and massive treatment. I'm now cancer free. Wow. That is fantastic. Yay. Good for you. Good for the doctors. Good for all of you. No, I didn't, but thank you. Thank you for reminding me. And I left my cell phone in the living room, so you can call all you want, Osa, because we won't hear it. There you go. And thank you for reminding me, Kelly. I just unplugged it. And if you remember, if you would, someone remind me to plug it back in before we leave. Are you laughing right now, or am I looking at your old life? LOL. I was married to a Scientologist. Okay. Martha, yes. That is fantastic, Martha. That is really great news. It is a miracle. Isn't that amazing? And other doctors wrote you off. You never know. See? It's just keep on going. That's my theory. Sorry, I'm on my phone. Okay. Okay, no problem, Kelly. I know the old autocorrect. That is wonderful news. It really is. Good congratulations to you. And that's huge. I mean, it really is to have colon cancer, which can really take your life. And stage 4 colon cancer, and they got it all. Ah, yay. I'm really proud of you. Good job. Really good job. And thank you for sharing it with us, too. We'll all thank the stars tonight and the doctors. Good job. Very awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I had thought of you often too, but I didn't realize it was today. Wow. Good job. I have a little skin cancer thing that I have to do, but it's pretty small, I think. I hope. It's just like a little mole, and then they did a biopsy. But yeah, as Martha said, never give up, stick around for your miracle. Very true. Yeah, what a godsend, truly. And would it have happened in Scientology? Hell no. To any Scientologists listening, we know more Scientologists who are no longer alive because they did not go to a doctor. They did not have surgery. They tried to do it naturally and didn't work. As Dr. Denk, L. Ron Hubbard's doctor, said, because I got really ticked off about it in the 90s and went over to him and said, what the hell's going on here? People are dying every day. And Scientology's never mentioning them. And he said, okay, come in my office. And he said, you know, I'm pro medicine. And I knew that because he got my medicine for me for epilepsy. And he said, but every person who has tried to go through natural handling of cancer is dead. Some that did some natural, some medical, some lived, some died. Those are our statistics. That's it. That's from L. Ron Hubbard's doctor. So there you go. At least he was honest about it. Thank you, JB808. Thank you for sending that my way. I appreciate it. I tried natural and it spread to my ovary. Yeah, that's what Dr. Denk said. It just spreads like mad. I watched it with way too many Scientologists. I knew it wasn't the way to go. It just isn't. I mean, and granted, as in anything, there may be one or two people that go, well, I did it naturally and I handled it. Okay, but we also know 100 or 1,000 people that are dead because they tried it naturally and it didn't work. Whereas I also know 1,000 people that did it medically and they're alive and well. So there you go. I remember Jesse Prince had stage 4 cancer, and his daughter was smart enough to not tell him because she knew it would just be too much for him. So she just said, you have cancer and you had to have chemo and radiation and blah, blah, blah. And he would go on Facebook every day and post photographs and tell about it. And people were praying for him all around the world. And it's now been, I think, 10 or 15 years, and he's still alive and healthy and very cool. So good job to the doctors. All right, so there you go. So tonight the topic is, does Scientology celebrate Thanksgiving? And I have to, again, there's always the Sea Org and the public. And because I was a little bit Sea Org, but not long enough to know about Thanksgiving because I was only in it for 6 months, I can't really speak about that. But as far as public, it really depended on the family. You know, it's kind of an individual thing. Almost everybody I knew celebrated Thanksgiving, but just for fun more than anything, you know, and cooking. My husband loved to cook, so I would wake up and he'd have the turkey going and all this stuff. He was a riot. He was fun to watch. Kelly says he looked good when he saw him with Laura. Okay. I'm not sure, Kelly, who you're talking about, but I will find out. I don't know who he is. You said he looked good. JB, so sorry I'm on the phone. Okay, I'm back to that. Fabulous news. Ellen Austin, I don't quite know what you're talking about. Are you laughing right now? I don't know what that, you have to explain that. Okay, I think we're at the beginning. Anyway, we're celebrating Martha tonight. Congratulations. She's alive and well. He looked good when we saw him with Laura. Oh, Jesse, when he was with Laura. Yeah. He is good. I mean, he has wonderful children, wonderful grandchildren, wonderful great grandchildren. He's basically concentrating on his family. And I think that's a really smart thing. I do. I love him, but you know, his family is fabulous. They're really nifty people. And now none of them were in Scientology. So they're all happy he's out. Don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. So anyway, we celebrated it every year. Like I said, gratitude is a big part of my life. So I'm always thankful, and on Thanksgiving, I'm especially thankful for all my friends and loved ones and family. And anyway, it's been really fun to see my brother who's down in Brazil. I'm 78, he's 79, and his partner I think he just hit 90. And they're both, when he came, his partner, and partner meaning music partner. But when he arrived, I think he lives in London. And when he arrived in Brazil, I thought, this is, my brother said, we're kind of worried about him. Raja Ram is his name. And he said, we're kind of worried about him. And when I saw him, I thought, this doesn't look good. And then he hit the stage, and I swear to God, I mean, the guy just went wild. It was unbelievable to see. It really was. You can see why the kids love them. I mean, there's so much fun, and they are very old people, but they're very young spirits. They're just beautiful. Hi, Astra Vissers. All right. How are you? I'm going to eat one of these little things. Sorry, but I don't have any water with me. I'm so out of range I'm so outraged over the Aaron situation. Hi, 49ers for life. It's so sad to see the corruption in Clearwater. Well, if you watch the videos, the gentleman who is helping him, I forget his name, but anyway, he's really great. And I think it might be a big turnaround for Aaron. I think he's helping him in more ways than we know. I know it's irritating, but that's just the way they are. You have to know that. I mean, if you're going to be out there and you're going to, bat back, they're going to take it all the way. That's why I always say to people, stay out of the snarl fest, because they will use it against you every time. And you can protest, and that's why when Anonymous first arrived, they had some pretty outrageous plans. And I said, look, I was talking to him on the phone right here in this room. And I said, look, we were on Skype. And I said, you are way out of your range on this. These people in Scientology will have you in prison if you do what you're planning. He says, it's not going to work. And they said, well, what can we do? And I said, let's do a peaceful protest. If we do it peacefully, they cannot arrest you. It's in the Constitution. We have a right to protest. And they said, okay. So we did. And excuse me, but I had to take that out. They said, we're going to have 500 people down by the complex on February 10th, which was the day of Lisa's passing away. And thanks to Scientology. And we went there. They had 500 people, and they had 9,000 around the world in every major city in the world. It was a major change for Scientology. It really was. All the stuff that's happened since, like the Mike and Leah show, which educate a lot of people on Scientology and their abuses, that would have never happened without Anonymous showing up. And I know that because they interviewed me for 8 years before Anonymous showed up. And they would never tell my story. They would interview me for an hour, but they would only show a little teeny bit of it. But once Anonymous showed up with 9,000 people around the world, you better believe on Nightline that week, they had Mike on, Marty was on then. They had a whole bunch of people on. I think Blown for Good, Jenna came out. back then. It was really fun. It was a really fun time to see. Big turnaround because a lot of people that have been too, kind of, they just didn't want to be attacked by Scientology. But once Anonymous was there, they went, okay, we're out. We're coming out. So that was good. It was really good for me. But I understand how you feel, JB808. I try to not get mad because that's a really negative thing for you. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't stop anything, and it's very negative on the person. So it's better to just try to do whatever you want to do. Come on here, stay and be a friend, and help support people that are activists. You be an activist, and be proud of that. And we'll do as much as we can do. But that way, it's not hurting you. Whereas anger, if you study rage and study anger, go on. I can't think of it now, but anyway, you can type in anger and rage and start studying it. And it can be pretty destructive to you. You don't want that. We need you, but not angry. Lots of great program covered Scientology abuses after that. I loved the Anderson Cooper program. Me too. Yeah. Anderson Cooper interviewed me at work. That was one of the fun things that happened. They called me up from, I don't know where, I think New York. And they said, Anderson Cooper wants to interview you. And I said, okay, where? I'm at work. And I was out in Simi Valley. And they said, well, is there a park nearby? And I said, I don't know. And I asked my friend, and we knew of this one little park, kind of a couple of blocks away. So I described it, and I said, but honestly, I don't know the streets. And they said, we'll find it. So you just drive over there, look for a big round white circle. That'll be us, and a chair. So just come over, sit in the chair. We'll get it going. We'll do it. So I did. I went over there. I put my little headset in. Anderson Cooper comes on in my ear, and he's like, hey, Tori, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. So anyway, we had a little short interview. He did an interview with Michael Pattinson, who's now the late Michael Pattinson, who was an OT8 and had tried to sue the church, and that was a big mess. But anyway, we did our interview, and then I went back to work. And I'm in the, eating area, and they had a TV in there. And 5 minutes after I get back, the news comes on. And who's on the news? Me. Everybody cracked up because they knew I did this stuff, but they'd never seen a live interview like that with Anderson Cooper. It was pretty cool. It was really fun. But I love Anderson. I think he does really good work. He really does. K. White, nothing makes sense. All right. Hi. K. White, nothing makes sense. All right. It's not probably going to make sense. They try. Scientology works very hard to make things confusing, and, this is here and that's there, and we're up here and over there, and you want to be over there. That's where it is. It's really important over there, while they're getting this thing going over here. It's very tricky. So you just have to do what you can do. Thursday before 2, good to see you. That's a great nickname. For anybody who doesn't know, their statistics end at Thursday at 2 every week. It's not Friday. It's not any other day. It's Thursday at 2. And I have been at one of their international, I was at Narconon International, and they were going insane. I mean, they had all these fax machines, and faxes were coming in, and and everybody's running around. And this one guy, they had a guy working there that was never a Scientologist. He'd never been in. He had no idea what was going on. And he finally snagged me, and he said, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah, sure. What's going on? And he said, could you just explain to me what this Thursday at 2 thing is? I mean, everybody seems like they go insane at 2 o'clock. And I said, that's a good observation. That's exactly what they do. I said, it's sort of like a football game. You're all the way down to the last 1 or 2 minutes or even seconds, and then it's going to end. And so that's everything leading up to that is like the last second, and they can kick a goal. They can run into the end zone. They can make a touchdown and win or not. And Scientology, if your statistics are up, you get Saturday morning off where you can do whatever you want. If your statistics are down, you can't. It's a whole different thing. And it can be way worse. They can do all kinds of icky things. So it's a big deal for them. Okay, so K White, nothing makes sense. I'm K White. I don't know why YouTube is now showing another name I've used. Okay, well, I like the K White, nothing makes sense. I think it's a good nickname because nothing in this group does make sense. I mean, it does here because we're talking about it and sharing information, but within Scientology, nothing makes sense. If you look at it, you just kind of go, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. This whole thing with Aaron, I get JB808 being tipped off. I really do. I mean, it's just stupid. It's stupid that they put him in jail. And look what's happened. I mean, is it hurting anybody? I mean, they think they're really winning. I know them. Oh, it's like, oh, we got Aaron in jail. That's thumbs up. But it isn't really. That isn't how it works. It's like Jenna said, if you think we're going to go away because Aaron's in jail, you're wrong. We're the same people. We were very strong when we were in Scientology, and now we're all out and even stronger. And they just keep picking on us. And the more they pick on us, the more we stay. I started out, I wasn't even going to speak it out at all. Then when they picked at me all the way across the country, by the time I got to Tampa, I said, okay, the next day, Bob Minton said, we're going to go protest. We want you with us. So I said, okay. Excuse me. And I went with them because they picked on me all the way across the country. So there you go. But I told them right before I left, you are creating your own enemies every day. All this stuff you're doing, it doesn't do anything except create more enemies. And man, have they shown that to be true. Now wait, Kelly, not JB. Okay. Did I say JB808? I meant 49ers for life. Thank you, Kelly. I meant 49ers for life. Yeah, that's outraged. And I don't I don't hold it against him for being outraged. It's just that's part of their game. They want you to be upset, angry, because that's when people make that's when people make mistakes. They do. That's just what happens because you're and they know it. They know you're out of it, you're ticked off, and now you're going to do something just like Aaron did, threw the chalk in the guy's face. Now, Aaron may think, well, I wanted to. That's okay. And that's okay. That might have been what he wanted to do. But you have to remember they have other plans than we do, and they're not good. I'm too woozy off edibles to be ticked off, but I like how Streets and Natalie showed you love on their stream. Respect much deserved. Aw, I know. I love those guys. I really do. I love all of you. I do. Everybody. It means so much to me. You have no idea. I mean, like I told Anonymous, when I first was speaking out and nobody was there, when Anonymous showed up, it was like somebody being in an alleyway, being almost raped by the Church of Scientology. over and over, and no one would join me except 4 people. And then all of a sudden, these 500 young guys with picket signs saying, "We're with you, we're against Scientology." It was so great. Oh, it just meant so much to me. And that's how you guys are. It's the same thing. Okay, Aaron getting locked up shows where the tax money goes. I'm sure a lot more people are locked up for dumb reasons. That is the truth, 49ers for life. Very true. And Kay White, nothing makes sense, says, yeah, big win. They're really successful at cheering the planet with all their shenanigans, right? They really don't know how to change their playbook. That is a good point. They do not. And listen to this person, because you don't know how to change your playbook. And you need to. It's like being in the 80s in 2025. It's like you guys have not come up to speed. I think it worked the ant guy, so they are doing it with Aaron. Oh, I think it worked with the ant guy. I don't know who the ant guy is, but they checked in. What Aaron are you talking about? Okay. Oh, you just checked in. Ex-Acer. Hi. We're talking about Aaron Smith Levin growing up in Scientology. And Jenna has made a number of videos with Natalie, Streets now today, I think as of today, Streets and Natalie did one. But they'll explain to you what happened. But basically, he got arrested and he's in jail. So that's what we're talking about is 49ers for life said that he was really ticked off about it. And so I brought it up about, you've got to know how to fight them, but not get in the fight. Do you know what I mean? It's like you fight them, but you fight them in a way where you're cause over what's going on. And you see it from different angles. So you can go, no, wait a minute. I'm over here and it seems like we're doing good, but they're over here and the police are there. And, you have to really watch what's in the environment, what's going on, because they're always doing stuff that isn't necessarily good for us. I only know one Aaron. Well, I'm talking about the guy that defends the ants. Certain words are blocked in chat. No, this isn't the guy that defends the ants. We know who you're talking about with that. It isn't. This is Aaron Smith Levin. His YouTube site is Growing Up in Scientology because he grew up in Scientology. He's out protesting every Friday night. And a couple of weeks ago, they did some stuff, threw some water on him. So he threw some chalk at them and then they arrested him. Of course, they blow it up like it's the world's biggest crime in the world. I think, but, no, it isn't. Okay, so Kelly. Okay, there. Okay, got it, Kelly. Hi, Thompson. Thanks for coming by. Hi, Liz. Oops, I just lost you, Liz. You just popped on. Okay. So, Astrid Vissers, 9370. Scientology not getting new people in because now you can look up Scientology on the internet and listen to ex-Scientologists to know that that cult is Tory. Well, it's like, it's true. Back in my day, you really could not. You had 3 books that you could read: A Piece of Blue Sky, Barefaced Messiah, or L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah or Madman. That was it. There were 3 books. That was it. Now there's 100 books from ex-Scientologists who've left and written their story, including Jenna's, who's David Miscavige's niece. A couple of them that I love, Blown for Good, Mark Headley, his book is really good. I read it in one night, and I'm not a fast reader. I couldn't put it down. It was fabulous. But I was also there during that time, so it was really cool. All right, Howard Taylor, SQ. Hi, Tori from England. Still cold and miserable. Oh, I'm sorry. It's cold here. Look, I've got on I've got on my 32 degrees. If you don't have 32 degrees, go to their website and get their t-shirts. They really keep you warm. They're sort of like long underwear, but they're thin. They're like nylon, and they have them for men and women, and they're fabulous, and they're very affordable. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you for putting that up there. Yeah, consider supporting me. That would help. I have to pay $53 a month just to even be on here, to be on StreamYard. They're really expensive. Yeah, you're right, Astrid, about the new people in. And see, now with the net, that's what Anonymous had a big sign that said, fuck, the internet is here. And they had all these anonymous guys behind it with protest signs. It was really great. It was a great sign. I still love it to this day. But it's true. I mean, they knew Scientology was over once the internet really started jumping, because people can go. That's how I met Andres. And I was a real true believer. I was not going to read any of those books. I wasn't going to look on the internet, blah, 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 all this stuff. But I met Andreas, and he helped me. And I thought, wow, this is like the biggest SP on the planet. And he helped me. So I thanked him. And he said, you're welcome. And he had his full phone number, address, name. And I thought, this guy is completely transparent. Scientology is using phony names, phony addresses, phony phone numbers. And here's this guy that's supposed to be this big SP, and he has everything on there. And that's what really started me waking up, really. Good morning from London. Hi, old Frizzle. Nice to see you. Mike Rinder's book is another excellent book. Okay, good. I have not read it, but I just got to a point where I was like, I got to read. My brother's written 10 books. My son has written 5 books. I've got to read their books too. So I'm reading theirs. I thought it was really nice of Mark Bunker to go to court today to support Aaron. Good. I didn't know that. That's very good. Bunker's great. He's a really great person. I'm glad he went to support him. Did he make a video about it? He must have, because otherwise you wouldn't know it. I'll have to check and find out. I didn't know that. That's awesome of Mark. It is. It really is. It's very cool. And I'm sure it helped Mark. I'm sure it helped Aaron. Was Aaron in court? I don't know anything about this. So this is kind of new for me. All right, I'm gonna switch my barrette. There we go. Okay. Just watched William Natalie earlier. Oh, okay. All right, and they mentioned it. Yeah, they have some really good videos on growing up in Scientology that they're doing while he's in jail. And that's the thing, Scientology, you're never going to win with this. You can put 10 of us in jail, and it's like 1,000 people are going to keep talking about it. That's what happens. And it just lets us talk about fair game. What is fair game? Fair game, L. Ron Hubbard said, if anybody says anything bad about me or David Miscavige or the Church of Scientology or any of our front groups, which he didn't call front groups, but they are, you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy them utterly. That's a quote from L. Ron Hubbard. And believe me, I have experienced fair game over and over and over. You guys have heard them calling me on the phone. I mean, that's just another one of their stupid fair game things. But it's like I'm doing a video, and then they start calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. That guy called, I think, 15 times the last time, because I went on my phone book and on my phone and looked, afterwards and saw how many times private message, private message, private message, private message. Of course, they can never contact them. Idiots. But at least you guys get to see how crazy they are. The one with Brooks Gibbs was really good. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Brooks. That's his name. I couldn't remember his last name. Brooks Gibbs. Yeah, it's really good, and he is really good, and you can tell he's really helping Aaron. I think he's really very, very valuable. I didn't know him before, but I really enjoyed that video. It was excellent, and he had excellent points. They're evil to the core. Not all of them. I will say that. I will stand up for a lot of the Scientologists because a lot of them are in the dark. And I'm not saying that's an excuse because it's not, but I'm just saying they literally, what you all know, they know about a tenth of it. The majority of awful things that you guys know, they have heard of. They don't believe it because Scientology said, oh, come on. Do you think we killed Lisa McPherson? Of course we didn't. But that's what they're going to say because that's what they want us to think. That's what they want people to think. Well, the fact is, Lisa McPherson went out in the street in Clearwater, Florida, took her clothes off, hoping that they would take her to the hospital. She would get to talk to some doctors and say, help me get out of Scientology. Instead, Scientology zoomed into Morton Plant Hospital, took Lisa, put her in one of their hotel rooms, and said, we own her. She's ours. We'll take care of her. And Jeff Jacobson, bless his heart, he's a critic. He was never in himself. But Jeff was poking around the police records, and he found she was dead. And he put up the Lisa McPherson, let's see, what is it? The lisamcpherson.org, I think it is. It's either .org or .com, .net. I'm not sure, but it's a whole website, and it's got all the day-to-day things that happened to her. It was unbelievable. And she ended up dead. Brooks Gibbs, this is from Old Frizzle, is very important. Here. Can't believe Scientology are fair gaming the Save the Garden group so much. Then again, shouldn't be surprised, I guess. Exactly. They're just stupid. Hi, Moon and Stars. Boy, we haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you here. And she says hello to the chat. And Kay White says, yep, Brooks is awesome. He really is. Where did he come from? Does anybody know? I really don't know. Old Frizzle, I just hope it doesn't end in another Bob Minton situation. It sounds like he is really educating himself, though. Yeah, I don't think it will, Kelly. I really don't. And when you say the Bob Minton situation, what exactly are you referring to? For every one of us, the mess with 10 more will come in our places. Exactly. Yeah. For every one of us they mess with, 10 more will come in our places. More than that. Yeah. Aloha, Moon and Stars. All right. Not even airing their Dianetics book TV commercials here in LA area will help them get members. Now, not anymore. Because we're all trained now to go on the internet and look, ask Google. So I think JB808 asked ChatGPT, who is Tori Christman? And man, they nailed it. It was really wild. Not all of it is correct, I will say that, but that was taken from Wikipedia, which was not correct. In that I never posted for OSA. I never did. I posted for myself. And that was after I left them. I was like, no, I'm not working with you guys anymore. Not even airing it. Yeah, that's true. Hope so, Kelly. This is one area where we, the protesters, can inform all, right, all the hospitals in the region not to return people to Scientology. That would be very smart. See, it's tricky because they started a thing we call the Lisa Clause. That's what we named it. But literally now when you join Scientology, you have to sign the Lisa Clause. You don't know that's what it is. But what it is a thing saying, if you get sick, if you have to go to the hospital, if anything wrong with you, the first person that is contacted is the Church of Scientology. After that, you can contact your doctor. After that, you can contact your parents. But the first is the Church of Scientology. And that's something they get every single person that goes in. So we used to tell that all the time so that people knew, hey, if you're going to join Scientology, don't sign anything. We know they shouldn't sign because of their name and address, and they'll never get off their mailing list. But this is a little different. This is like your life where you're signing it away and you don't know it. You're like, oh, okay. Because you don't realize that's what it is. So we should all start talking about that a little bit more, just so people are educated. He's a citizen of Clearwater who got angry about Scientology trying to buy up all the land. Okay, good. Good. Rumors are that they will, this is the Magic Cow Mermaid. Rumors are that they will try to use money to pay for a pardon for Danny. Really? I don't think so. Moon and stars together. All right. I don't know if you want to speak on Aaron, but if you do, what do you think about what is happening? Seems very over the top, in my opinion. I know OSA, so I know how they work. And it's like, it was a given. It was coming. It's like when you're going to protest every weekend and you're out there every weekend and they start throwing water on you, what they do is find whatever is your button, what ticks you off. And then they're going to work on that. And that's exactly what happened. They got Aaron, they got him ticked off, and then he threw the powder. And then it was like, boom, they were there in a minute. And like Aaron said in one of his videos, well, you said that it's this kind of crime from me. Is it the same kind of crime for them for throwing the water? Now, they didn't give an answer to that yet that I know of, but I don't know it, but they should, because it really is. Anyway, I feel bad for him that he's in jail, but I think he's using it to the best that he can, which is Brooks educating him, which I think is really going to help Aaron in more ways than he knows. I really do. It seems to me, he seems very smart and like he's helping him. A lot of friends are coming on and helping him. So that's good. So, he'll get through it. I don't really think it's going to be, I think it's a much bigger deal for them than it is for Aaron. I think Aaron, I hope, will, get out of it. He should. It's stupid. But what actually happens, all I can say is let's all take it as a lesson. Be careful when you protest. That's why I always say always protest with two, number one, because I worry about people who protest alone, because they can do all kinds of stuff with you by yourself. And the second thing is, if it gets weird in any way where you just think this feels weird, or I'm angry, or I feel icky, just walk away. Like Jesse said, step away from the stove. That's the easiest thing to do. As Bill Yachty told me in OSA, when he was helping OSA and got me to help him, and he said, Tori, the only thing we can't handle is if someone says nothing. Can't handle that. As long as somebody answers anything we post, because they were just posting all kinds of BS, getting someone, because their three goals were to distract off of Scientology, number one, divide and conquer, number two, get people fighting with each other, And the third one was just slime the area, which I only found out right before I left Scientology. But he said, slime the area. And I said, why would you do that? And he said, who's going to put their name in an area that's just all junk? And that has happened. Some of the old YouTube chat boards are pretty much gone. And that's because they kept sliming the area. So you kind of have to watch those three goals and just stay away from them. Like if it's distracting off of a topic, let's say you say L. Ron Hubbard's a liar, and someone comes on and they says, I don't think he is. Well, don't get into it with that person. Just say, here's the facts about L. Ron Hubbard, or if you see a hot topic and then all of a sudden it's over on to about golf or cooking or something like that, just go back to the original hot topic and repost it, because they hate that. They hate that. And divide and conquer, try to stay away from going against each other. It really doesn't help you. It really doesn't help the other person, and it definitely helps them. That's their goal. So Moon and Stars, you said, Kelly, okay, I'll go back. Where are you going back? Wait. She did already about 15 minutes ago. Oh, I see. Moon and Stars said, I didn't know if you wanted to speak about it. Okay. Yeah, it is. Scientology is always over the top. They're always trying to get people to distract off of Scientology, because now we're talking about Aaron, right? They're like, fine. People think, oh, we've got him now. No, they're happy because everybody's talking about Aaron. So as you talk about Aaron, make sure you talk about fair game, and make sure you talk about Scientology abuses. And that is why we're protesting, because of their abuses. And then they don't win. Okay. The Moon and Stars, keep coming back. I'm happy to see you. Aloha JB808 says he likes Brooks Gibbs. Me too. He seems like a really level-headed, smart, and fair guy. Yeah, I think so too. And very well spoken too. He's calm in the storm and takes no crap either. Yeah. Aaron's lucky to have found him. I mean, really, I don't know how that happened, but that was good. What has Scientology done for Rex Fowler? That story was buried very quickly. I'm still not letting go of that one. Sieglin, I don't know. I would ask Google, because there will probably have some answers for you there. I don't know anything more than you know about it. In fact, I'm sure I know much less. Moon and Stars, but the water was not directed at one person. The powder was. I guess we will see. I am just Moon and Stars. Don't know why YouTube changed my name, adding that together. That is weird. Okay, well, it's good to know it's you. You're Moon and Stars. And they threw the water at more than one person, but he only threw the powder at one person. Okay. I still say it's not as much of a crime as they're trying to make it out to be. In fact, one of my friends pointed out in India, excuse me, they throw that powder all over the place, having a giant party. It's not considered lethal at all. So anyway, they're going to make it what they're going to make it. But Aaron will get through it. That's strange, Moon and Stars together. I wonder what happened there. First time I've heard of that. Yeah, that is pretty strange that they've put that like that. But you could always write YouTube and ask them. That's what I would do. Moon and Stars, Sieglin, I have no clue. On some pages, I'm just Moon and Stars, and on others, it adds together. I had that happen too, Moon and Stars. I'm not going to say because I don't want it to happen again, but I had mine changed a bit. And it took a while. It took years for it to get back to where it is. It was the situation they were waiting for. Yeah. Google Rex Fowler Scientology. Okay. I will when we're done. I'm so happy I left my phone in the living room. I thought, perfect. I was doing a test, and I thought, I'll just pause the test, come in here and do our little talk, and then I'll go back and finish my test. And that'll be twofold, because A, I'll get the test done, and B, the knucklehead that keeps calling me while I'm doing interviews can't distract from me. But now I remembered how to turn off my phone too, so that helps. All right, so I hope you guys are. Is anybody planning on having a fun Thanksgiving? I hope you are. My big thing on Thanksgiving is stay in touch with different friends. Call people that you haven't talked to in a while. They really appreciate it. It's amazing. And it feels good. You know what I mean? Just to say hi, happy Thanksgiving. Are you doing anything? No, I'm not. Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know I love you, and I hope you have a good week. One way or the other. A lot of people are doing something. So anyway, I hope you guys all, I don't know if I'm going to see you Monday night, because Monday night we're going to talk to Gabrielle. So that should be good. And that's the first night I'm going to use my earbuds with someone actually online. I'm staying home with my son and cooking a small meal. Nice, Liz. Nice. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Me too. If I don't get to see you before then, but I hope you guys all come on Monday night, because that's where I'm interviewing someone, and that's important. So I want her to have a lot of people there. But I'm happy to see you guys tonight. You are welcome, Liz. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. And Moon and Stars, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope all of you do. I really do. Even if you don't have anything fun to do for Thanksgiving, think of something. Find one of your best movies, your most favorite movies, go for a walk, meet up with some friends, go out to eat. There's a lot of things you can do besides cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, which I never do because I hate to cook. I will see you Monday night. All right. Good. Moon and Stars. I'm glad you're going to come. All right. I'm going to say goodnight for now, but I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming. And if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. And remember to drive safely. The police are all over this on holiday weekends. They do come out. And a lot of people drive crazy. So drive safe, drive as little as you can, and drive slowly. That's my theory, because you have less accidents that way. And I do not pull out anymore. Like today, I was trying to go over to my friend's house, and I was just going to jump across this big street I'm near. And I thought, Tori, no, there's like 9,000 cars coming. Just hang on, take a deep breath, calm down, and they'll be gone. And by the time I took the deep breath, they were gone. And then I could just drive across the street. Hi, Eric. Thank you for coming by. Say hi to your parents and tell them I wish them a happy Thanksgiving, and you too. All right. And I hope you come by, Eric, Monday night. I just was asking everyone. Free never in. All right. Bye. Hi, June. Good to see you. Thank you for your wonderful purple hearts. All right. Well, anyway, have a good, what is tonight? Tonight is, it's so weird for me. What night is tonight? Tomorrow's Saturday, I think. No, it can't be Friday. I'll be here on Monday. Okay, good, Eric. That's good. Today is Friday? God, how weird. I was over at my friend's and we always watch Bill Maher and we didn't watch him tonight. That is really weird. Whatever, we watched a very good movie, so that's what happened. All right. Saturday morning for me. It will be in a few minutes for me too. All right. I love you guys. I will see you soon.